Wait, I don't know how I feel about this hair. But I don't really care. I'm too lazy to change it. So, you want to get into cosplay, but you don't know much about it, and you just really want to know some precursors before joining the cosplay community, which is very smart. I never did that. In hopes of helping you, I've decided to compile a list of things that I wish that I knew before becoming a cosplayer. Just a list of things that I wish that I had known before jumping into cosplay like I did. Fair warning, yes, I have only cosplayed for about 2.5 years, 3 in August. Obviously, I am not the most experienced cosplayer out there. I do feel like you do learn more about like a hobby within your first and second and third year of doing it. Mostly like your first and your second, just because you were learning the basics, you were learning just about everything about that hobby or that activity. So with that being said, let's just hop into the video. Starting off strong, we have cosplay is freaking expensive. Maybe you don't want to go into this hobby because yes, it does cost a lot of money. I've included a couple of things about how to lower that price, but even with that, it is still really pricey. It's not like expensive as like sports, you know? I was never warned about how much money I would be spending on a hobby because obviously out of all the hobbies that I could have chosen, I decided to go with the most expensive. Not the most expensive, but one that requires a lot of money. Anyway, second one being, there is a very big stigma in this community, in the cosplay community, that you have to sew all of your costumes and you have to make all these amazing props and everything like that, which I'm going to make a separate video on just about elitism and everything like that within this community because it runs rampant. But back to what I was saying, you do not need to sew or create all of your costumes. It is completely okay to go and buy one. There are so many of my cosplays that I wish that I had just bought the cosplay instead of trying to make it, just because one, the character is super well known and it's very common. Two, it would just have been cheaper to just buy that cosplay instead of going out of my way to make it. But because there was such a stigma around having to create or sew all your cosplays, that's what I kept doing. People are not going to judge you if you do buy your cosplay, and if they do, you have the full right to just kick them. While we are on the topic of budgeting and kind of price range, I want to mention this, and I really hope this gets to you. You do not need the most expensive things to be a good cosplayer. You can use cheap makeup. You can decide to use cheap fabrics. You don't need that expensive art-a-wig to be a good cosplayer. You can do it with cheap wigs from Amazon. Especially when starting a hobby, try to go for those cheaper alternatives. It is not worth putting down $60 for one wig that you're going to use once when you can just get it for $20 off of Amazon. I don't like Amazon, but God, I don't know what else I would do without them. Anyway, this is going to kind of contradict what I just said about you don't need the most expensive things. One thing that I will say, and this is something that I am very passionate about, and if you guys want a more in-depth video about that, I can totally make that happen. You can, of course, use cheap makeup, but I will say this, if you're going to go cheap with the rest of your makeup, get a good primer and makeup remover. Trust me, it is worth the money that you're going to spend. I say this because one, that makeup primer is the barrier between your skin and the makeup that you're putting on it. And please do trust me that like your skin will hate you less if you just go and buy that more expensive makeup primer. Especially if you want to do face paint, and like if you're a Homestead cosplayer, Critical Role cosplayer, what are other things? Lore Olympus cosplayers. Highly suggest that you just get that more expensive makeup primer just to help your skin out a little more. Plus, it makes application look a little nicer. With that makeup remover, you are making sure you're getting all of that face paint, all of that makeup off of your face. My favorite way of taking off all my makeup is I have makeup bombs. I do not like cloths. I do not like makeup wipes, although I do use them. Please excuse my voice crack. I am an adolescent boy. Anyway, in my opinion, makeup bombs outweigh makeup wipes and cloths by 10 times. Maybe I'm a little biased, but like that is what I'm going to tell you guys. But like different things are going to work for different people. So it's just kind of testing out, seeing what works. I'm going to shift the topic into more so makeup now. Dear God, please put on makeup. Trust me, you are going to look so much better with it. And I'm not saying that, okay, that sounds terrible. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying that because it's like, oh, you're ugly, you need it. I'm saying it because if you're going to wear this bright pink wig for 02, you're going to look very washed out without makeup. So putting on a little bit of foundation, a little bit of concealer, maybe something on your eyes, maybe a little bit of contour, it's going to even out the look. For example, this is me without makeup, this is me with makeup. Do you see the difference? Or like the point that I'm trying to get at? Before I became a cosplayer, I had worn makeup once in my life, and that was for like Halloween. Now I wear it almost every day. It's going to suck in the beginning just because like, of course, your face isn't used to it. You're not used to like applying it, but practice makes perfect. Kind of going with that, I highly suggest doing makeup tests. If you don't know what a makeup test is, it's basically what it sounds like. It's just testing out the makeup for a character before you actually cosplay them. For example, this is my makeup test for Harrow. This is what my makeup looks now. This is my makeup test for Catra. This is what it looks like now. I do like especially suggest this for people who are going to be wearing face paint, just because like getting used to applying face paint, but also seeing what you can improve. Like with Harrow, I tried to go with a more realistic skull face paint, and with that makeup test I decided I hate that. I'm gonna go more so the cover art for Harrow the 9th, and that's how I got this. Just do a little makeup test, see how it looks, see what you want to change. With all that being said, I'm gonna shift the topic a little bit, and here we're going to get a little sappy. I don't know the word. I need you to internalize this. Cosplay is a hobby. You and we're just nerds at the end of the day, okay? And unless this is your actual job, you do not need to take this seriously. It's easier to say than do, but you just need to remind yourself at the end of the day, hey, maybe I do not look exactly like that character, but that is okay. I do not need to look like I'm the canon version of this 2D character because they are an animation or anything like that. Unless you're like, I don't know, cosplaying from like a live action movie, but even then, we're not going to look like that actor because we are different people. Going along with this, just because this is a hobby, cosplay whoever you want. With that, also please like respect culture and use your common sense. Like don't do brown face or black face or eye taping. No. But also do that very obscure character that you adore that maybe others will not recognize at a con. My example of Harrowhark Nona Gesimus, once again, nobody knows who she is, but dear God, do I love cosplaying her. So I'm going to cosplay her no matter the likes that I get on TikTok or on Instagram or anything like that, or how many people recognize me at a con. I'm going to cosplay her, and it's because cosplay is supposed to be enjoyable. And again, this is a hobby. This is not your job unless you want it to be. Cosplay whoever you want. To go along with my last point, I actually, I asked a friend of mine if I should add anything to this video just because I didn't want to leave anything out, and her thing actually kind of went with this point, so I decided to quote her. Let's see how this goes. Okay. It's very hard not to, but comparing yourself to others is dumb. Is that seem double Frenched whatever? No. Does it matter? No. Make your costumes however the hell you want. Literally, some of the most popular creators' greatest skill is, guess what? Photoshop, and there's absolutely no shame in that. Just have fun, goddammit, and don't worry about whether you see the hairline in your wig or whether your shoes are perfectly accurate. Again, it really goes with the idea of like, you don't need to be perfect, you don't need to be canon, cosplay is supposed to be enjoyable, we're just nerds. So at the beginning, when I first started to write the script for this episode, yeah, sure, for this video, I wanted to include some things about cons, but seeing as I've only been to about 1.5 cons, I decided to just not do anything like that. However, I will leave some resources about con etiquette down in the description. I do highly suggest watching those videos just because con etiquette is so important. Along with those con etiquette resources, I've decided to also link a bunch of videos about the basics of sewing, wig making, foam smithery? I don't know, just working with foam. So if you are interested in any of those topics and want to learn more, please go check the description in this video. Oh God. If you can't tell, I don't know how YouTube works. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Can we please, for a moment, appreciate the outfit that I'm wearing. I don't know if I'm in frame, but I feel really cute today. I also have rainbow Levi socks. So besides that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully this helped you in some sort of way. If it didn't, I'm so sorry. If you did like this video and me rambling on and on and on, I suggest you subscribe because I will have more content coming out soon instead of, you know, taking a break for 3 months between every video that I publish. Yeah, maybe you like this video. What else am I supposed to say? I don't know. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!